What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Hilliard Guess, and you guys are listening to the Screenwriters Rant Room. And we keep it real, we keep it opinionated, and we keep it 2022, y'all. On the show, we discuss entertainment, TV, film, music, culture, but our focus is always screenwriting, stories, craft, and shit like that. Chris Derrick is out today, but we got a dope show for y'all. So if you guys are grown, let's jump on into the show. So today, I was introduced to these cats from Mauricio Moda. Yeah. I can never say it. See, I told you I was going to destroy it. Brazilian filmmaker I'm working with over there with at Blue Monday on a couple of TV shows we have going on. And these guys are in town. So we had a little meeting the other day and a little interview. And I was like, hey, let's have you guys on the show. So everybody, welcome to the show. Brazilian filmmakers. Eduardo Gomez.
That's me.
Octavio Mendez.
Yeah.
Filipe. You didn't say your last name.
Yes.
Gontijo?
My name is Gontijo.
That's what I said. Gontijo.
Yes.
Gontijo. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what was it that brought you guys into town anyway? You guys are all from Brazil, clearly, with those fake accents, right?
So yeah, we're.
This is Eduardo talking.
Yeah. Hi guys. So Mauricio, who you talked about, he introduced us to. We met him like maybe four years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
And he has like a school of series that he called like a TV show.
Well, welcome to Hollywood, by the way.
Yeah.
What's this? Okay. So he has like a TV show school online, and we wanted to bring some of that back to Brazil. Some of what he's learned being like a Brazilian producing in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a bunch of stuff here, like we have a bunch of challenges in Brazil, and a bunch of stuff that we can also bring here. So we were looking to meet some of you guys.
Hold on one second.
All right. Is that like a fireman?
I see it. There's a smoke coming different. Oh my God! Jump!
Just close the window. Close the window.
No,
Oh, nice. Você tem medo?
Acho sim. He's coming back. No.
Can you just park over there just so you can get another? Okay.
Okay.
You want to go from the top?
So you were saying?
All right. So and Mauricio, he has this like a showrunner school that he's trying to bring some of what he learned in Brazil, and we had a project that was right up his alley like a couple of years back, and we got introduced. And he invited us to come to Hollywood and maybe try and bring some of our Brazilian sensitivity to you guys, and maybe learn something about the way you guys produce from various standpoints, like from executive producing, line producing, and screenwriting, directing,
right.
and just from listening to your podcast, like we should have stayed in Brazil and just listen to your podcast, because it's like a school of everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of other podcasts that teach you a lot of things that are all very good. We just like it to sound like conversational. We want it to sound like real people talk. You know what I mean? And so that's really at the heart of what makes us different. And we tell you about things that aren't great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really the truth. You know, a lot of people are like, here's how you should do it. Here's the best way to do it. And here's the only way to do it. I'm like, here's the best way to do it. And here's what to watch for. Yeah. You know what I mean? Here's the mistakes I made, you know?
But even we were just, for those who don't know, like we were present at the recording of the last episode, the one with Forrest with Denzel Whitaker, and you were talking about so what kind of screenwriter are you?
Right.
Yeah, and that's something that when we were talking to Alan Maldonado too, he was saying like you need a brand. And I was thinking like, what's my brand? Like it's really something that gets you thinking about just diving into what makes maybe Brazilian productions and American productions different. That you got like from what we've seen so far, you guys think of it much more like a business than
It is a business first.
yeah. But in Brazil, it's maybe an art form first, like for most of the people who make it, and it's that comes with its own set of like benefits, but also it brings challenges because like
Because the government pays for a lot of your stuff.
yeah,
right?
like most of the stuff,
Right.
I,
So it's like England and Canada and some other places, I believe, right?
Yeah, but like we got 2 or 3 paths now. Like there's like a huge conglomerate, like a huge network that's called Global. They produce everything that is actually like really consumed and watched by everybody.
The mainstream.
Yeah. Now we have streaming too.
So people who listen can understand. They produce 30 minutes of fiction every single day on novelas, right?
30 no.
Yes.
30 minutes?
Of
30 minutes is nothing.
No. How much? How the novelas?
No, it's there's 4 novelas,
Oh yeah.
and each each one
Way
is
more
1
than
hour.
Yes.
So it's 4 hours every
Every
day,
yeah.
like
Of scripted.
yeah, of
Yeah.
scripted, yeah.
So novellas are still big.
Oh
Yeah,
hu-
Brazil
like
is huge,
it's
soap operas.
huge,
Wow.
Yeah,
And the cinema quality today.
yeah,
right?
it's like 4 little movies
Mhm.
every day, like
Okay.
yeah, it's amazing, and now we have streaming too, like Netflix and HBO and Disney are starting to get.
Let me just ask you something. Just piggybacking off what you were talking about earlier. We were kind of talking about this the other day a little bit. I think you're right. A lot of us here more think business while because we realize we are the brand, right? We don't have the government going,
Yeah.
pitch us whatever project you have. If we like it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We're going, how can I get Eduardo to give me $200,000?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's right.
And so because of that, you have to be very clear on, I do these type of movies, and this is why you would want to invest in me. You're a banker, just spitballing. You're a banker, and and I know that you have a child who has Down syndrome. I'm doing a project about a kid who has Down syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you try to gear it towards somebody like that. You try to find somebody who would be interested or would be willing to, invest in you
Yeah.
because they would be passionate about the project. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So that has like consequences in Brazil. Like one of the challenges I think is because like we have like just one huge financier, like 2 or 3 huge financiers. Like one is the government, the other is global, and the 3 like the other streaming services.
Right.
But the government, like they usually are attracted to something more like they have like a social kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
the political line that
Yes.
they are going through.
so
depends on the
so every filmmaker, like they have mostly in Brazil, like they have to make their movies more like socially aware than the like the usual, right? Because that's what, like, it's not a banker with a kid with the Down syndrome. It's a government that likes to promote social change or promote social issues and stuff. Like, because people, for example, not people, but people, Filipe Gontijo here. Papi. I'm going to call him Papi from now on.
He loves it.
I have no name. That's no problem.
And Octavio too. Both of these guys, they're not like, they're really like being raised around Hollywood movies. And Octavio,
Are you 2 partners when you work?
Yes, we are. They are two. They
Oh,
are
they are 2.
partners,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'm partnered with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are a company. I'm the second company.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but both of them, like, when the ideas that they usually come up with are very like maybe action oriented, maybe superhero movies and action dramas and stuff, and that that's one of like that's hard to get off the ground and make because of that slight land that our huge biggest findings here that we have in Brazil. So that's one of our the things we're trying to learn from you guys is like how do we get a movie like The Woman King that's a very like huge historical epic drama, but it's also like a huge like popcorn movie, and you can get like a social issue in there and historical things that you can learn, but you also like you're
Have fun.
yeah you're having fun,
Watching,
you're
yeah.
entertained and stuff.
So you were saying that the government in particular. So I'm assuming they have a budget stop of how much money they invest.
Yeah.
So if you needed to make a $40 million movie, for example, you
Not
probably
gonna-
can't go to the
No,
government.
not
They
gonna
might
happen.
give you 2. Right? I'm just generalizing. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we don't-
something like this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't like. I'm not sure like what's the biggest budgeted Brazilian movie ever, but it's maybe $4 million.
Dollars. I think so.
Like it's maybe $4 million. So it's
Okay.
usually like smaller budgets.
Yeah, low budget.
And like, and that's something we were talking to Mauricio the other day because we usually have to like do a reverse engineering. Like, so we have a couple of $1 million or maybe a couple of million of our money that's worth nothing. Like, and how do we do like how do we do something with this? And like our next feature, like it has some action scenes and some fight scenes, and we're trying to like we're trying to make this whole process around like making an action movie with not that much money and not that much time, but and still trying to like appeal to the Brazilian audience. Like it's a juggling thing. Like,
let me ask you, Octavio, what does the Brazilian audience tend to like? Now we know you guys have the novellas, and that is one thing in itself. So you guys are definitely more than that. Because we were talking the other day about City of God and some other stuff, you know, which is one of my favorite movies, even though it scared the shit out of me. It did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The most selling content in Brazil right now is comedy.
What is?
Comics.
Comics.
comedies.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Comedy and
Sorry for the
action.
accent.
Oh, he said comics.
No, I say comed.
D.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
D. There's a D on there,
Yeah,
Jack.
comedy.
But it's like the ones in most of it is like
Some over the top comedy, right?
like SNL.
Yeah, kind of like sketch,
sketch
based off sketch characters.
Just put
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
the sketch, and it's not a proper really good movie. You know.
Oh, it's like it'd be like I think it's parallel to like an Adam Sandler comedy,
Okay.
or like it's
Yeah.
a really
I see.
It's, but it's
I'm asking you these questions because I'm trying to figure out if it were me, what would I be doing
Yeah.
to try to get my bigger budget movie done?
that's a good like what would
And-
you do?
Well, sometimes you have to play to your audience. So if your audience likes an over-the-top comedy, how can you make it be, say you guys have a drama that's got all this action in it. I'll be like, okay, how can it be more like Rush Hour or something
Yeah.
that's a little more fun or a little more Bad Boys, you know, a little more looser in tone. So I would go back through and see where I could adjust the tone to make people feel like this is an action comedy, even though you guys tend to write more drama. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You just have
Yeah.
to shift.
Yeah,
Right now, you're locked on what it is as opposed to what it could be for your audience.
yeah, but there's also like the streaming services. There's also like some kind of a conflict between like what's really being watched and what the streaming services are trying to get people to watch. Like, there's like a
When it comes to series, right?
yeah.
Yes.
When it comes to TV shows, like they're trying to produce some things that are not really popular in Brazil, and
Because
but
we already have the American and other country movies
Yeah.
doing this. We want to watch an action movie. Let's watch an American movie.
Right.
And we are trying to break this and make, because as you said, when City of God, when it is from your own country, it is, you can beat it. You're right. For us, watching City of God, no other country action movie can beat City of God for a Brazilian.
Right.
And so we want to not make this much. Yeah, we don't expect to be this big, but to make this walk into the same bridge, right? Bridge?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did they do a movie like City of God then? Was that part of the government?
Yeah,
Was that like,
Yes.
how did they make that?
They have both things, the two things.
So they had
Yeah.
the worldwide like money outside coming in?
and,
Yeah.
and government money.
But I think it was like almost a fluke,
Yes.
actually, because it's like Fernando Meirelles, who is an amazing director. He's if you're directing in Brazil, you mostly have to make your living directing ads, right?
Right.
And he has his own production company. That's a huge production company, and he spent years directing ads. And he made a couple of
So meaning like doing commercials and stuff or what?
Yes.
Is that
yeah,
what-
yeah.
Okay.
And he made a couple of movies before that, and
Mhm.
like it's a one of them is a kids movie, like Menino Maluquinho,
Yes.
and the other one is a movie about Brazilian maids.
Hmm.
And then when he made like
Really low budget.
yeah,
Made
really
Brazilian
low
made.
budget,
Yes.
yeah. When he made City of God, I'm not sure anyone saw it coming. I'm not sure he saw it coming. I'm not sure it was like I'm designing this to be like a huge commercial. I'm guessing like maybe we have to ask him. Let's call Fernando.
I'll call him.
Yeah.
No, I'm just curious because that is, I think, the next step you guys have to be thinking is you have to go. You're already creatives.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to put on your business. You guys are producers too. You got to put on your producer hat and your business hat. And when you do that, then you can get yourself a
Yeah.
City of God. And now Hollywood is calling you to direct their movies,
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do. Let me ask you a quick question. How are you guys working as a team? So I know the two of you guys, Eduardo and Octavio, tend to work with each other in general. How did you come on board? I was about to call him people, but he didn't like that. Now it's in my head. Is it Filipe?
People, go on with people.
All right, because it's locked in my head now.
Yes.
How did you come on board to helping them? And what is your specialty? Are you guys all like when you guys are directing, who's directing? When you guys are writing, who's writing? Like, give me that.
What happened was Eduardo and we have a long friendship, and I was making this
You
my
friends
preview.
with this dude?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do better, I know.
I was directing my first feature, and I was also writing it, and it was a movie to be an action, fantasy, and drama.
Okay.
thing.
So it was
About it.
RRR, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I have a good drama on it, but I was not doing very well on the action and comedy thing.
Okay.
Then I was close to shoot it. Then I asked Eduardo, please help finishing my script.
Mm-hmm.
And we have worked together on this, and it went very well
Okay.
on my point of view. And
And that's
No,
all that
all
matters.
happy about
okay. The audience,
He's still here.
yes, yeah. And the audience on our movie is people are having fun on the beginning of the movie and crying on the end, and that was what I wanted,
Mm.
and it's happening, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
We are going to be here in United States on 3 presentations. I talked about it later.
Yeah.
And we also have partnered on my one interactive movie I've produced in 2007. And we have a great friendship. And I love movies about friendship. This is my
Okay.
thing.
Good.
And
I was going to ask you guys.
Yes,
okay.
yes. My thing is movies about friendship, because I believe it's not usual kind of love, but it's the unique. You can't forget about a
But
big friend.
but why?
Why I'm on it?
Why friendship for you? Like, did you grow up being like the quiet kid, didn't have a lot of friends. You see what I mean? You gotta have that part of your story.
Yes, I was thinking on it while yeah. Why am I attracted to it? I have grown on our street, our city is kind of gangful.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of friends that are kind of brothers, really brothers.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, we don't see each other, but if anyone has any problem, we can count on one of each other. We're 7 guys. And I have this best friend of mine that was really, he was messing around and getting into fights, but also a very kind and loving, and he looked up after me and show his love for me a lot. And I was very macho, as we are in Brazil, but I believe I was a little bit macho.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not have the looks, but we have this culture. Eduardo laughs a lot on my macho thing. Now I'm dead of a girl.
Now you know who you are.
Yes, man. and I didn't have the opportunity to say this guy how much I love him back.
Right.
And he, when we are teenagers, it's something that happened. He died while we are teens, and he know he was going to do, and he did it by himself. And I think I have this inside of me. I need to show the world how true friendship is, how this kind of love is, and I think this is common on my 2 features I've done, and I have written something. This is a reflection I can get from you.
Aww.
Yes.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes,
that's
man.
cute. Here's an interesting thing. So I don't know if I told the story on the show. I might have, but so I told you guys I grew up, the rude boy kid and then my punk rock and all that stuff. You guys saw my scooter and shit.
Yeah.
Before that, I was part of a gang when I was a kid, and we were more of a breakdance crew. So that's why I don't even use the word.
Yes.
It did become that when I got out and started hanging around the punk rock kids, but my homeboy, who was the leader of us, was my best friend as a child.
Okay.
And he's the first person who knew that I was gay. He was the one who told everybody, don't fuck with me.
Okay.
I knew it was going to happen. So last year, one of my homeboys died, who was part of my rude boy group. And me, I haven't seen these guys in 30 years. We all came back 30 years later to go to the funeral.
Oh, man.
This is the emotion. I think it's...
You have to have it.
Yes.
You have to be in touch.
Yes.
So my homeboy, who protected me as a child, reached out to me. He heard I was in town. He saw photos of me and some of my rude boy friends taking photos. And he's like, you keep coming to town and you never called me, And I'm like, all right, well, I'll try to do it on this day. I was throwing him off. And he called me one day, like, fuck you, that type of thing. Like, like, don't even call me, right? And I didn't quite understand it. And then I realized, oh, I know what the problem is. I was molested when I was a kid. I blocked it out. I don't remember my time with him.
Holy shit.
I remember my time with my friends in the punk rock scene because it was so important to who I became. But I hardly remember the days of us breakdancing and hanging out and all. I don't remember. So I don't remember him that much. And I haven't been able to tell him.
And for him, it was... Oh, sorry, man.
Really?
I'm so sorry.
So I love that.
Yes.
But that's why I'm trying to get deep to see what it is really that moves you. That's when people want to give you money because they know you're passionate about it. What about you, Octavio?
Oh, I think we are more. We write together, right?
How did the two of you come together?
In college. Yeah.
Yeah. We just were 2 geeks, the
Yeah,
only
we
two
just
geeks. So we got
Yeah, we started talking about Back to the
Were two.
Future. We used to be back then.
a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should see us back. Oh, we were so much
Back to the Future shirts. Japanese.
ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm glad we're
So,
over that.
Yeah, and we a lot of things we talk about was, I think one of the things that we have is brotherhood. It's friendship too,
I
but
love you too, buddy.
yeah, it's like because we are brothers for another brothers.
Yeah.
But so brotherhood, we have my brother, my big brother, and his big brothers. They are a lot alike, right?
Yeah.
The way they are with people and with us. So I think that closes us, bring us together, and it's a lot. There a lot of things we write has that brotherhood feeling, that sometimes you put on friendships and all stuff, but to have someone to count on to protect you and always be there, and the absence of that too, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Octavio also he fluctuates towards a lot of like underdog stories, like
Yeah.
yeah.
But see, why?
I'm an underdog. I come for not from the hood in Brazil,
Mhm.
but we were poor.
It's
and
all
stuff.
the hood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? City of God said it's all the hood.
No,
It's all
man, no, not where I live.
Yeah. So I always see myself as an underdog, and have to do all by myself, not having that safety net from family and stuff. So
What was did you have your mom and dad?
yes, but they were split. Yeah, they
Mhm.
separated. Yeah, so I just my mom raised us.
How many brothers and sisters?
I have two from my mother
Mhm.
and one from my father, but I didn't. I only see my father once in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
He didn't know I was going to go to this deep on him, did he?
Yeah. So and my mother didn't had to work all the time, and we are just me and my brothers. So that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, had to take care of us,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's why I go for that side.
He's also
the
going
brotherhood.
teary-eyed. See?
Yeah.
I like it. That's real.
Yeah.
I want to have a real moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Eduardo?
I'm not sure I can give you a real moment.
Yeah.
That's my.
Well, we know you're a robot, so it's,
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like I was thinking about what kind of things that attracted me, like. And
it's just certain themes that
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean.
I think I like boring movies. Like I like. I was thinking about every project that I've been drawn to. Like maybe they have politics on it for some reason, and
Okay.
I'm not. You're gonna ask me why. I know you, but I'm not really sure why. Like
Well, let me help you.
yeah.
See, now I'm wondering if. Okay, two things. Are you the type of person who comes home and turns on the news, or reads?
I read a lot. Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing. So it's subconscious.
Yeah. And both my mom and dad they were journalists.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, and they worked like with.
Now,
okay.
I would say, ride with me. So tell me about yourself. Well, I grew up in Brazil. Both my parents were journalists, and I
Yeah.
think for some reason that just got my mind thinking about politics. Like the news is always on. They're always talking about political things, so it's locked in my head.
Yeah.
See where I'm going? You just tie it in somehow.
Yeah, I think there's some of that because, but the reason I wanted to make movies, like I used to make them when I was a kid, but when I started making both of these guys too, like I think we're storytellers at heart. Like I like telling stories like live. I like telling stories to people like, oh, this happened to me and blah 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 blah. And when you're doing that on a movie, you're doing it at such a high level. Like I was editing, I edited his last feature, and it's weird to see when you go to a screening. What are people laughing at, or what are people crying? Like when are people crying? And it's like those dials you're messing with right now. Like you like, oh, let me cut this in by half a second,
right?
And then you see like, oh, people are even yourself like, oh, I'm getting more touched by this, or
the pace, the rhythm.
Yeah, and the movies I like to watch, like there's like, have you ever seen Moneyball?
Of course.
So it's like I love that they make such a fucking boring story so amazing. Like I watched that movie like, oh, he's gonna do some math now. That's like, yes, do those numbers. Like it's and I love that movie Her. Like it's and it's a dude and falling in love with his smartphone. Right. And
for a robot.
With a robot, like I am, yeah. So I'm not.
I got the videotape. That's it.
So the thing with me, I think in politics, I don't know. I think I watched a lot of The West Wing when I was young, and relating it to like we're in Brazil. We're from Brasilia. It's the capital, and like the context of what we're like.
And I also think Eduardo can bring some entertaining into it, and this not very usual in Brazil to see. And
did you go to film school too, Filipe?
What?
Did you go to film school?
Yes. No, I went to advertising school. But inside the school, I have.
It's similar. There's a lot of it.
Yes, and then I move.
Yes.
And I think Eduardo brings some entertaining into things he do, and then he bring entertaining into politics. And people fall in love with it.
Yeah.
He's doing a podcast now that people are talking about, and this is, I think, his thing is a little bit on this and crafting the thing, the art, and making it entertaining.
I like to make people feel things, and I think when it's more challenging, I think I'm kind of like, oh, let's see if I can make you cry. With the story about elections. And then
that's interesting because people ask me like, why do I write or why am I a filmmaker? And I say, you ever go to a movie and you walk out and you go, man, that's the feeling I want you to feel. That's why I write. I want you to walk out going, whether it's happy, sad, whatever the emotion
that's
is.
Me, man. Yeah,
that's it.
For what I see in the podcast, you want to make people cry. That's your, that's
the tagline. That's the T-shirt, right?
Yes. The podcast that makes you cry. Brought to you by. Are you actually? I was gonna say like the name of a brand or something, but I don't know if you're actually sponsored by anyone.
No, not right now.
So brought to you by Hanes Underwear.
I have people wanting to sponsor it all the time, and I say no to 95% of the people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I could. Well, part of it was some people wanted me to change my language and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
I get it. Yeah.
You don't make Rogan change his language, or anyway. I was gonna say something a moment ago. Oh. So when you guys are working on, how many films have you guys done individually, and how many films have you guys done together?
Yeah, we've done maybe a couple, 3.
Yeah.
Features?
Yeah. No. We've done we're doing our first feature right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and we've done mostly TV up until now, and people have done.
I have done some advertising, animation, and I've made this feature film. We are about to do my second film now, my second feature. And I've also worked with a lot of new media things.
Okay.
And this was when we are talking. I'm not as geek as this guy, not even close to their, not even close. But I'm the one that have worked with a lot of technology.
Yeah.
Right.
But what brought me to this technology was the stories I was trying to tell. I loved one short story on Julio Cortázar, the Argentina. I love Argentina. And this guy, their story have 2 perspectives. Then I created a movie where you can interact using the DVD player. When people use
People.
Wait. What's that? What's the DVD?
interactive.
I'm being funny.
No. I was just gonna talk about Filipe loves like a failed technology. If there's a failed, if there's a technology that failed in the 90s, he's gonna reuse it to some, like he's doing that. When he started doing VR,
He's not allowed to put technology in his movies anymore.
No, it's amazing. It's like he's gonna do something with with 8-track in the.
Oh boy.
Yeah, with beta tapes,
Right.
with mini discs.
No, but I have done this interactive movie, and then the later I just really love comic books too. I have grown reading it, and I was reading a comic book to write the movie, my first feature, and I have fallen in love with the diagrammation,
With the design
of the panels.
Okay.
And why there is no music videos working on the design of the panels? Then I decided to make a music video on it, which you can watch. It was vertical. I don't know the year, but it was when people are making making fun on everybody who shoots videos on vertical. Yeah, it was 2010, 2011.
maybe before, yeah.
Yes. And it was intended to people watch on the iPad. And then, and now I'm working on VR, which was great. VR the way you shoot VR is so beautiful because there is all this technology to watch and to shoot it, but when you are going to record, you have to forgot everything. And it's no camera move. It's all just actors and the director and the beauty of nature. It's incredible on VR. And then it changed me making these films because the nature, when you put on the glasses, the VR glasses, you forget where you are before. And then you put it on and you are really into the scene.
You believe it's real immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you cannot look at your cell phone. You can't. You forgot everything because everything is new. You don't know where you are. You are looking around.
And you're like.
and I make VR video cinematic VR with cameras, 6-lens cameras, not 3D, no CGI. And they all look beautiful, like really like well-crafted movies. Yes, we have made historical pieces and have won some awards. And these movies, but what appealed me to it was we have transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
You have to stay on the moment, and when you put on the VR glasses, you are on the moment, and this is beautiful because you are on this moment and. Being on that moment, shooting VR, I became a tree lover. So hippie.
Tree hugger.
It's kind of a tree hugger because the trees on VR is beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then we forced one. There is a nursing council in Brazil, and they want to make a short movie on VR, and I have push it a little bit so we can shoot it on Amazon. And it was beautiful to make and to be there, And this experience made me work with actors on a different way because there is no cut, no edition. So the timing has to be perfect. People have to move properly, and they have to sound real, and everybody has to be on scene. No one can be.
It's all choreographed.
Yes, and people has to be strong emotions. And the emotions have to be there. You can't be giving the line to the other. You have to be there.
Right.
And this is beautiful because as these guys, the Eduardo and Octavius, Octavius.
There's three of them.
Yes.
He'll be right there. He's always late, man.
I'm an entity.
Octavius.
At night, he turns into Octavius.
We have
Doctor.
we have created our own movies with small crews. So we shoot, we direct, we edit, we do everything you have to do.
I like it.
And it's when you are on this, you are not. Sometimes you forgot about the actors, what is on the other side of the camera.
Right.
And doing VR, I have finally
Yeah.
having the opportunity to forget technology. You know,
Oh, interesting.
and it's great, man.
Mhm.
It's a contradiction that I've loved, and I'm having a good time making VR.
Let me-
Right.
That's it. Let me switch a chord. You said something earlier that just stuck in my brain a second. I would say probably 90% of the people listening to the show are doing TV because TV is the thing today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you guys have done some TV over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk about what the TV's like. Like, say you guys have an idea. How do you take it from idea to series there? Is it similar? Is it different because you have to deal with the government? You know, how does all that work? Talk us through.
So,
both of you.
Yeah, it's actually changing right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like back when you guys did shows and how it is now.
So the first thing we did, like the way our we have a production company called Bede Vaca Filmes.
Right.
It's like it's a jokey name and it's stuck, but that's
What does Bidibaka mean?
nothing really. It's like there's a really popular Mexican kids like TV show in Brazil called Chaves. I think you have it here, like in television.
Chespirito.
Chespirito, and yeah, Chavo del Ocho. And he had a really stupid like joke that was badly translated to Portuguese. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So we were in college and we decided to make like our graduation project documentary about video games.
Okay.
So
As you do.
as you do,
Yeah.
like, as the geeks that we were back then. So and we came to Los Angeles and we shot it at E3, the big like
Oh, okay.
expo and stuff.
Mm.
And we're not only geeks, but we're also egomaniacs. So we put ourselves in the movie.
Now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The real deal.
So we put ourselves in the movie, in the movie, and it became like a kind of a mockumentary.
Mhm.
And we were really like, it's still like one of the jobs that we were most proud of, right? So, and we, on a whim, like Octavio, we developed like a thing, something like off of it, but on a whim we sent it to like a network, and back then they had like pitching sessions. They asked, send us your projects,
Mhm.
and we sent it like
This is in Brazil.
in Brazil.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I
And
thought you were still here. So
no. Yeah. So we sent it like it still is like the largest cable channel, and it belongs.
like HBO or something.
Yeah. So, but it's more like a variety, like
Okay.
yeah. So and it belongs to Global, the one I told you about.
Okay.
So we sent it, and they said, "Oh, we love it. We want you to like make more of it." So we like, oh, okay. So we gotta.
They asked, we have more of it, and said, yeah, we have it.
Yeah.
So now we gotta.
No,
have
now
to
we gotta
make
make it.
what we gotta do?
Give us 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that was it, and they gave us like very very little money, but
Yeah.
we said, all right, so let's do it.
Well, coming from college, you guys know how to do it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but that's how we learned to make
From
things.
zero to something, it's like infinite.
Hey, so
More.
it just feels good to know you have a budget that isn't coming
Yeah.
from you,
Yeah.
you know, and now you know, okay, I can't afford to get an editor. I can't afford to get, you know.
Yeah, no, back then
elements.
it was like, why we have money? What the hell? Like we were like, wow, we
Yeah.
can travel, and then like our next project, we
So they went to the beach. They didn't even make the movie.
well,
In the last day, you said, we gotta make the movie in one day.
But the funny thing is, like we shot everything, and when we got back to Brazil, like our
You can tell this to Hilliard, man.
go.
Go.
Oh yeah,
go,
okay.
go.
So
I want to hear all the good stuff.
Go on.
our footage was stolen.
For stolen.
Everything at the
See,
airport.
this is why I ain't going to Brazil. So I'm fucking around.
tell you.
But it wasn't. Well, it wasn't Brazilians. It was a gang of old Peruvians.
Yeah.
That's elderly Peruvians stole our footage. I'm not
The
kidding.
twist.
Yeah, that's the plot twist.
Wait, you didn't have iCloud?
No, it was 2010.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, but we had a backup,
Okay.
but we had to put both backups on the same backpack because we brought so much shit from the video game fair, like a mug from a Mario
And
mug.
you had to have it.
Yeah, so that was it. So, but then and then they
Priorities.
But we as soon as we got the stuff got stolen, we started shooting again, and we put ourselves even more into the movie, and
So it was better.
the
That's
channel
part of the story.
This sorry to interrupt you. This is something I talk about all the time. The mistakes that happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And experienced producers are relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Newer producers are like, oh my God, we lost everything. Instead of going, okay, if we wait a minute, we got the camera, all right. You know what? We're here in this airport. Why don't we shoot you doing such as, you know what I mean? That's when you start to being more creative, and it ends up being way better than the thing you ever did. That's why it happened.
Totally.
That's why it happened. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and that's what Octavio and I learned more, like the
Yeah, not put the backup together in the same bag. That's what we learned.
First-
People
first-
don't do that.
but like we've been through so much shit during like everything we've done that like nowadays like the actor is on fire over there. Well, no, don't worry, we'll get to that. Like we learn to be very chill but still get to the point like when we need to solve problems. Getting back to your question, so that was our first how I got a foot in the door. Like so, and the next
How many episodes did you guys do?
this was just one actually.
Oh, that was one.
Yes,
Okay.
just we sent it like a pilot, and they wanted one, and then when we finished that, they said, "Oh, we want more of this," and we then pitched them like a sitcom, but they weren't really producing sitcoms, and we were like really ambitious. like that was like a hugely stupid idea from us. But it was a good sitcom. Like
Yes, it was great.
The screenplay
pilot,
we wrote, it
yes.
was really funny.
Yes.
And then and then we were like tripping, like going from one project to the next, like on this, like people looking for us. Oh, we saw that you produced the last one. What do you want to do? Like, and the same thing. Oh, so what kind of equipment do you have? Like, we have this and this and this. Okay, and then the guy leaves, and so we gotta get this equipment. And that was then. But
So
now
you guys can't just rent them like from a film place? Or
Yes, you can. You
So,
can.
yeah,
you can, but it's a little hard to get the variety. We don't have every kind of like you guys have. You have more.
I'm telling you all this because back then maybe that was kind of the only way to get in the door, because back then only Global produced things and stuff. But nowadays, like with more channels and streaming, you can develop a project. You can get some money from financing.
Probably more production houses there too now. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
a bunch more. So, but it can be like concentrated on a few of them. So, but we're trying to like nowadays we have more chances to because we can get financing for developing, for example, like for development. Before we had to like get some money from wherever and like take a year to develop or a couple of months to develop a project and then try to sell it and fail and then get the second one. But nowadays like we have more access to all the streamers and and they're really interested too. Like it's for anyone in Brazil who's listening, it's really easy to get access to the streamers. Like if you shoot them an email, they wanna they'll have a meeting with you, a general meeting, and they wanna listen to your ideas. The thing is, it's hard.
So you don't have to have an agent get you the meeting there. Here it's like you gotta come.
No, there aren't really agents. No,
Yeah.
there are.
More
Actors
for
have
actors.
agents,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Writers and directors don't.
Yeah,
have-
it's starting to have like
Yes.
to
Field
it's a
comes.
field is it's growing right now, but usually it's like you shoot them an email and we have this project, but we're kind of looking for more of this. So, but I think, but what I'm getting at, I think is, you have to have like a proof of concept. I think, because it's really hard for them to know like like what you said, like what are they getting when they're giving you like a couple of $1 million per episode or reais per episode? What, like, are they getting what kind of quality of they're getting? What kind of whatever are they getting? And I think that's one of the challenges right now. Like, and that's something that we're trying to do, like establish make our brands and that so that they know that okay, these guys they know their stuff.
Right. No, I think that's the key. Let me ask you this. So, being that you guys have to pretty much use the government and global and all that stuff like that, can you make a good living there as a filmmaker?
He does.
No, I'm asking. I'm just thinking for the audience. I'm just talking out loud.
You can manage.
So where's my 10%?
Yeah, yeah. It's all in donuts. It's coming. There's a bunch of more where they come from.
We have to balance things, and as I said, I have this nursing council that sometimes I work making fiction for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's fictions that have the nurse as the main character.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to shoot commercials, basically.
Yes, and it's I'm doing this artistic commercials.
So you get to travel doing that and stuff, or
What?
do you get to travel
Yeah.
doing the commercials?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes. And we also have these opportunities with government. It's the thing there is that you have to sell your movie in a different way. For example, our last feature, it has an 80-year-old superhero.
Okay.
And instead of saying this is an action, it has adventure, it's fantasy, you're going to learn to dream watching it. This guy has a beautiful dream. It's a quixotic story. You have to say it's about elderly, you know?
Yeah, it's about elderly suffering and how the elderly are going through the times.
Oh, interesting.
And
There's
whatever.
the way you sell it to the government, you know, and people.
I see. They're trying to get more. It sounds like they're trying to get more to the heart of how does it apply to the listeners, the viewers, the people who are paying taxes and stuff. It's like, how can I get more eyes? It sounds like to me like that's where they're going.
Yeah, but it's hard to like putting myself in the government's shoes. Like it's hard to justify like, oh, I'm gonna put a couple of $1 million, even though they do it and they get criticized by the idiot we have. Oh, maybe we don't anymore because we're having the elections right now by the idiot president we have right now, and they're getting criticized because they're gonna get a couple of $1 million to make like a comedy.
Yeah.
But like I think the people who are doing the right thing over there, they're trying to do like the thing you were saying with Denzel, like we're trying to do like South Korea to really create an industry that's self-sustainable and that can really like sell our products to the rest of the world, like and like we've proven we can do, like with City of God, with Elite Squad, with a bunch of movies that the Elite Squad director went on to do Narcos and with Mauricio even, like we have like a huge pool of talent. Global, even though people criticize them a lot, they're like their productions are like my brother lives in New York and he comes home and he says, holy shit, Global is so much better than TV in the US. Like it's really high production values. We have like a really good school of production over there. We have like a huge population with diverse interests. Like the potential is there for it to be like a really good sustainable industry. But this, I'm not gonna. Yes.
Let me just ask you this then. So, just piggybacking off of that, one of the things I was thinking about when you said that is what you're used to seeing. I'm used to seeing L.A., New York, Atlanta, whatever, Chicago. I'm used to seeing the streets of that, and just using City of God as an example, I haven't seen that. So that's why it's so lush and it's so all these different things because it's so unfamiliar. What was the one the Native American film about the How to Lose a Millionaire, How to Win a Millionaire. You know what I'm talking about? The
Slumdog
Indian
Millionaire?
Slumdog.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, it's in the same
Yeah.
world, but they added that element.
Yeah.
But it could have fit right into that world, if you will.
Right.
But those two movies to me are like great examples of just the streets and the city becoming part of the character.
Yeah.
You know, that you're just not used. So it's so much more cinematic to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you've been in those places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just curious.
No. I'm sorry. What was your question?
I was just thinking about, you were talking about your brother was saying that the global stuff is so much better.
Yeah.
And I was saying, but we're so used to seeing certain frames.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And when they show you something different, you know, like for example, I watch a lot of things, and you guys have seen it too, that overhead shot they do of Brazil with the cross and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's such an amazing cinematic view that tops probably almost every other view you see in the world. You know, it's very, very known. But if somebody didn't go up there and do that, you wouldn't know it was there. But we're used to seeing the Golden Gate Bridge and, you know, the Statue of Liberty. You know, we're not used to seeing those things. You know what I mean?
So we're trying to like that. That's something that we're trying to do with our next movie. Like we have a feature that people is directing and they're co-writing, and I'm producing, and Mauricio is also partnering with us. That we're trying to for example, we were at Venice a couple of days ago, and we were really excited because, like you said, like it's the thing you see when you're a kid. Like Venice.
Was that your first time there?
Yes, mine not.
Okay.
So
it's an interesting place.
Like it's really exciting to see. Like, have you played that game, California Games, from like in?
I'm a grown man.
I
don't even play video games. I'm like,
there was a game called California Games and there were a bunch and it was the same everybody in Brazil played that game.
In the 90s.
In the 90s, So it's the same scenery. So people was really, really excited, and that's something we're trying to do with like Brasilia, from where we're from. And with with our culture in general, to get it recognizable to a point where like you see like, oh, I know this, I want to know more about it, but at the same time,
it's familiar too.
This is new, right?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen this before, but I can relate to it. This is familiar, and that's something that we're trying to do with both our projects.
Yes, and this city, Brasilia. The capital in Brazil, it was created.
Why did I
from
always think
scratch.
it was Rio or something? That's horrible.
No way.
Okay, go ahead.
They
don't teach us shit in high school.
Yes, it was created from scratch, and it has a really, really strange architecture, right? It's modernist, and people, Iron Flux, is this the
Iron Flux?
They are thinking on shooting it on our city.
Okay.
Because it's so different, and we think people will like to see this landscape that's so different, right?
It's like paradise. Like it's weird. And
are you guys on the beach? Where are you at?
No way.
We have a lake. We have an artificial lake.
Beautiful.
No, but it's a nice lake.
It's a nice lake.
So are you guys more inland from the beach?
We're in the smack middle of the country. That's the thing about
that's why they created it.
So you're like 6 hours to the beach, right?
6 to 12
oh
hours.
My God.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, we have a lake. But there used to be nothing over there. Like some guy in our president in the 70s, in the 60s, 50s.
1961 is the
he decided, I'm gonna move the capital to where? So over there where there's nothing, I'm gonna create a gigantic city.
Interesting.
And then he did it, and then he called like the best architects in the world and the best urbanists and the best whatever. And it's like a living dream walking. Like you walk through, like our cathedral looks like it's weird. I'm gonna show you.
Let me ask you this then: has Brazil picked up on, meaning Brasilia, where you guys live? Has the city picked up on the fact that guys like you might have a camera and they're like, "Where's my permit?" Or can you just go shoot?
No,
Well,
depends
we
on the size of the film.
I can hear
right?
you.
Depends on the size of the production, right?
yeah.
Yes. If it was
Well-
a small production, it's okay. But if you have to stop a street and something, then
But it's kind of something like you have here. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to have like a Washington a story set in Washington that's not about about politics. Like and in Brasilia we have like this. Oh, Brasilia is the city of politics, and we're trying to change that. Like and even the government is trying to like they have like a. Okay, so we're gonna give money to movies or series that are set in these cities because we want to make sure that it's not all set in Rio and São Paulo. And
Right.
so there's
Because that's what I think of when I think the Rio and Sao
Yeah.
Paulo. So yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
we also have a strong pole of production in northeast of Brazil.
Yeah.
Art movies are made on. There is a specific part of Brazil that makes a lot of art movies, right? And the people love to see this thing as this Slumdog Millionaire. Wow, this city, these people, it's beautiful to watch.
Right.
Sometimes it has microstructure, right,
Mm-hmm.
on the story, so it's not very commercial. But it's beautiful and it has a lot of, it's awarded around the world, right?
Yeah, it's most more prestigious films in the Northeast and stuff, but like it's and that goes back to what we came to do here. Like it's trying to get more into that business minded like state of mind,
Yes.
and trying to leverage that the fact that the government is trying to get something started, right? But it has been like a failing because like of the change of governments and stuff. It's challenging, but we're trying to like.
Did y'all vote? Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's today we're here.
I know, but you can't do the
Say,
online thing or whatever.
you
it's called?
can't.
no, we can.
That's crazy.
But
Is
we're gonna
there-
vote.
are there
There's-
results out?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Do you wanna?
While he's doing that, let me
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Yes.
So we talked the other day about, and I remember, I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember exactly how the conversation came out.
Yeah.
It was something about, I was telling you guys about, I don't know if it had something to do with crossing over to doing movies here. It was something in that world where I was going, it was something where I was telling you, can't you do something where,
In English.
in
like-
English,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not fully, we were talking about the what's the movie we talked, Prey.
Yeah.
And how they used, the Native American,
Yeah.
the I forget what it wasn't Cherokee, it was something else.
Navajo. Yeah.
Like how they use that and they would go back and forth. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a version of that you could do where you go back and forth in Portuguese
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
so that you open it up more to broader. You can go to England, you can go to Germany or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you guys speak really good English. Considering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Except for. Hey, people on
But I
there.
talk a lot.
I'm sorry, Papi.
Papi is Borat here.
Why is that? Do you talk normally over there, or are you normally talking, or do you go back and forth? Like, what keeps you guys having a?
It wouldn't really be accessible to most of the population, I think. So we have to balance that. But it's like it's something that's on our minds definitely because, like Narcos, it's a series that like there's a bunch of it that's Spanish and there's a bunch of it that's in English.
Yeah.
So I think it's really like we have a project we're developing with Mauricio that's it's a historical drama that we've considered because it's in global in nature, like the story. We consider like, so since it's global in nature, like we have some of it that's set in Europe, some of it that's set in blah blah blah, some of it that's set in over there, and we can like use that to get the story to more places in the world. Like that's something that we're really in our minds
Yeah,
because
in our minds. Because Brazilians already they accept subtitles very well. Very,
Very
well.
well, yeah.
We are learned to see movies with subtitles all our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a lot more common than it has ever been. I would say, like I said, I was telling you guys the other day, I don't even watch TV without having the titles on.
Mhm.
You know, I'm always, I'll watch Frasier and it's on. You know what I mean?
But also,
It's just on.
haven't you felt that in the last maybe 5-6 years there has been like an influx of movies that don't speak, like, that don't have any English, like or a series like Squid Game or something like from, and there I think it's being more acceptable to not like being in English and being consumed around, like we have like a series in Brazil, in Netflix Brazil. It's called 3%. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's Netflix doesn't really divulge their numbers, but it's supposed to have been really popular in various
South America.
In South America.
I think so.
Out of Brazil, right?
Out of
Yes.
Brazil, it's more popular
than
abroad
in
than in Brazil. Like,
Okay.
so we have, it's something that we're trying to incorporate into the way we think about our projects. But that's a really good point. Like, that's why we came here, because that's a really good point. Like,
It's just about, like I said, I'm always putting myself in somebody else's shoes. So you're constantly pivoting.
yeah.
You know, like how I got over there with Ben wasn't intentional. He asked me, I just said, okay. I just gave up all of this,
Yeah.
to go over there and to help him build his company. I don't have any regrets. Best move I ever did. It's a faster track to do what I was trying to do. I'm not writing right now.
How
Haven't
long
written-
ago was that?
20 weeks ago.
20 weeks ago.
20 weeks. I haven't written one thing that's mine in 20 weeks.
Oh,
First time in 21, 22 years.
how do you feel about that?
Feel fine. Because I'm still, he's like, hey, give me this log line for this or give me this, whatever. So I'm constantly doing, and I work with, like, if you guys were developing a show, I'm the one working with the writer. So I'm like,
Cool.
here's a pitch. What about this? I feel like I'm writing all the time. Anyway, I'm just not doing my normal.
Isn't that better? That maybe, like, because you're not really having to do the grunt work. You just, I haven't, like,
Well, there's a caveat to that. There's a piece of that. So when I first started, I would sit, because we had our writer's room going for our new Alex Cross show we're doing. And I would tune in when I got to work, and I would have it in my ear, and I'd be, reading a script or whatever, giving notes on, whatever's going on. And I'd just be listening to them in the writer's room. And I was listening going, one day it clicked, like 3 weeks, and I went, I kind of like what Ben does. I like when he just comes in for like a couple hours. Like, how did you guys do the homework I told you to do? Or what are your thoughts on that character?
yeah.
And then he's gone. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be there all day doing all that shit.
Yeah.
I already kind of do that,
Mhm.
but that's because I was at a point where I was ready to go back to being on the show again, because I had
Mhm.
been developing for 3.5 years,
Yeah.
and I was like, I was getting meetings. I was up for a show. I decided to take this thing instead of a show.
Yeah.
So there was like several things going on, and for me, it's a faster way of me getting where I'm getting, instead of keep taking all these different rungs on different shows before I
Yeah.
get to be the showrunner. This was like, boom, I'm the EP, boom. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So
But
that's-
because you have a lot of say in whatever.
yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, it filters through me first before it goes
That's
to him.
amazing.
So yeah,
That's what I wanted.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna take your job.
On our on our three collective thing here, Eduardo has this part, right? You are this showrunner on me and Octavio.
Octavius.
Yeah, Octavius. He's more the business, more business. We are more art, and Eduardo is.
I do notice he talks more than y'all though.
Yeah.
I'm like, why
Yeah,
is
he
he?
talks-
Why is he
yeah.
always talking?
I'm sorry, man.
All the
I'm
time.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now.
No, but gotta give a but.
No, but it's. I'm doing that right now mainly because that's the way, like, we had to do them for things to work out. Like,
Yeah.
because like the way I like to work, like, one of the things that when I dream about, like, oh, this is what it must be like to work in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're working at a very high level, like Denzel was here and he was talking about, like you only work with people that are much better than you.
Yeah.
And that's like, and you
But you have to feel you're just as good.
yeah, I know.
You
but
have to.
yeah.
Or you will be swallowed up in a minute.
And chewed.
And chewed up. Yeah, but
Yes.
but the way I feel like these guys are much better than me in like in a bunch of things.
Okay.
And I'm
I know.
and I'm trying to and like and we have to have someone like organize and produce
Yeah.
things. And I'm like I said, I'm not.
Somebody has to do logistics.
I
feeling
hate it, and I hate
he's
it,
feeling
but-
this the void of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
the power, no? Right?
I'm
Yeah.
you, so I understand.
Yeah.
You know, before I was there, I was the one. I've told Ben too. I was like, look, I'm used to being you. I'm used to
Yeah.
having, 10 people going, Hilliard, what do you think we should do? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, we should do this.
Yeah.
I said, the only thing different is now we're doing it with these giant, networks and studios. Whereas before it was like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So like I'm trying to use whatever talent I have to pull up these guys into whatever I think where I think they deserve to be, like,
Yeah.
because this dude right here, like
Otávio.
he's
Octavius.
Octavius, Dr. Octavius.
Doctor, please.
He's like
Plural.
he's an amazing writer. Like
Mhm.
he gets.
Then why did you let him write and not him?
I
I'm
didn't
not-
Aha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
but
Touche.
like but he like thinks of amazing ideas like this. It's like it's beautiful to like. It's a wonder to see like the way they're writing, like they're writing the next feature. And Octavio just came up with a bunch, like he read the script, and in the first day he came up with a bunch of ideas, and we're like, oh, what the hell, that's amazing. And these two, like he has like the
People
best.
was like, no, wait,
Yeah.
don't mess with my baby.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. but then again, Octavio, like he can also be kind of like
A dick. Mhm.
no. Also,
He's
a
a good
dick.
seller on
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, but he can be a bit timid, like when having like his ideas, and I think I'm here to encourage him. Oh, go and talk to Papi
Right.
to see if he likes the idea. And no, go on, man.
Yeah.
It's an amazing idea. And on the flip side, people too. He's like a really creative, amped up guy, and I'm here to like.
Yeah.
And what he does is he himself will like temper his ideas down because he thinks they can happen if they're not on this budget or whatever. And I'm here here trying.
I say pitch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let us tell you
Yeah.
we can't do it. Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do with him. Like he's saying, oh, I gotta cut this scene and this scene.
Right.
Wait a minute, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can figure out a way
Yeah.
to do this. Like have the idea first. Like let's do the amazing movie in our heads first,
Yeah.
and then you can try and
You
bring
pull
them
it
down.
back.
And while they're doing this, like I have my own projects too, and
Sure.
I'm writing and
No,
so-
Eduardo's a great director,
Yeah, when it
writer,
comes to
and everything,
directing, this is Eduardo thing, right?
Yeah, it's
I
a
saw the
great
little
director.
pictures you took. I was like, look how you framed that.
Yes.
He knows how to use the camera. I have it on the same shit. I don't.
Yes,
I hire a DP. I ain't doing that shit.
yes. I said him, maybe you should be our DPA. No. Okay, Eduardo, go on.
Yeah, I
One
think-
day you are going to become a DP.
No, I know. Because in the way the director is like he has the least amount of work, even though he's working all the time. If you work with great people, you're just like filtering the bad from the good and fitting into like your vision into what you think the movie should be.
That's because, at least in my opinion, if you have a really good producer,
Yeah.
we're putting out fires you don't even know are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times, like I've worked with Chris on maybe 3 different projects where I'm the EP and he's directing, and I'll tell him like 2 days, 3 days later after we finish, and like, you ain't gonna believe what happened. He's like, what? I was like, remember that one camera guy we
Totally.
had? He's like, you notice he wasn't there when you got
Totally.
back? Oh, I let his ass go. He's like, what? You know what I
Totally.
mean? I was like, oh, no, I wasn't playing. He was fucking up, you know?
Yeah.
and like little shit like that. He's like, really, I noticed he wasn't gone, but I didn't, whatever. And he's like, because somebody else stepped up and whatever. But those are the things. That's your job, is not to be like, Octavio, come here, I gotta tell you the problem. No.
Oh, even here, like I'm telling. Oh, so guys, we gotta go to Hilliard tomorrow, and we gotta bring donuts. What? Don't ask. We just gotta bring donuts.
No ask. Just bring the donuts. Okay.
Here are the donuts.
Okay.
You deliver them. No, but like part of my job, I think it's like even with this podcast I've done right now. It's about like we have like I said, a president who's like Trump. He's like trying to say our electoral system is bugged and whatever. So we did a podcast about politics, about how we have a electronic voting system that's very reliable, and he says it's being hacked
because it's not convenient to him.
Yeah. Right.
If he was in the lead, he wouldn't say shit.
Yeah, that's yeah. But he's gonna say it anyway. So we did a podcast proving that it's like a very reliable system.
Okay.
And when I'm the thing about our job, I think everybody here is like, because you have to listen to, like, if it's a podcast, you have to listen to it. You have to try and listen to it like it's not your thing, and to try and listen to it like you're listening to the first time, and it's like does it feel like, is this boring? Is this interesting? And like when I'm with these guys, like I'm trying to listen to Octavio sometimes pitches amazing ideas. Octavio loves plot twists, so he'll jam plot twists.
That's a superpower.
Yeah.
It is. And I can take out all the time. It's your mother.
And then plot twist. Octavio, this is the first scene, man. Wait. There isn't even a plot. And I'm saying, no, that's an amazing idea, but that's not what we're looking for right now. Right now we have to establish this and this. Like I'm interested in this happening. And then, but plot twist.
Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. That's amazing. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of trying to filter and put these guys up where they belong to. Like, I think they have so much potential. Yeah.
I think it's good. I always tell somebody, how do you know when you have a good partner? Is when you have somebody who is usually weak at something you're strong, or the reverse. Yeah. So, like you said, the way you put them up, you're like, they're way better at me at these things or these things or these things. That's the perfect partner to me. Somebody who could come in and elevate the thing you're doing. Yeah. Eventually, you'll pick up the thing that he has. Yeah. Because you keep listening to the way that they do it.
The way I learned a lot with Octavio.
Sure.
Yeah. Because Octavio has, and he does it instinctually. But every scene he's writing. Mm-hmm. He can't help but, and it's like a Mac key thing. Like he can't help but put conflict in it.
Yeah.
Like everything. There's this. This dude comes in and hands donuts to and all of a sudden they're like with knives and fighting it out for the donuts. Not this, but
the chocolate's mine.
And just that gave me such such an insight. Like whenever I'm writing a new, I think I'm a good writer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are.
But I got so much better.
He said that.
Yeah, I got so much better writing, like watching him write.
That's the key. You should be, and you got to be working together for years.
Yeah.
If you haven't grown now, just stop it.
You
know what I mean? Yeah. Seriously.
And editing too. Like I edited the movie that Filipe made last year, and is like the thing about him is that he wants to make every fucking second of the movie perfect.
Yeah. And he should.
Yeah, he'll go to lengths that people is fine, man. No, I'm this like I'm gonna. We're talking like in like, oh, this is 1% better.
Yeah.
And this is 0.1% better. He's always, I think I got 0.3% better. Like this, he actually says this, and I said, okay, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. How many times have you written a script, you sent it off to somebody, and you're just sitting there, and you just kind of pull it up and start reading it again. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Whether you made a typo, maybe there's a word you're like, I could have said that better.
Yeah, sure.
And then you fix it, and you go, hey, I know I just sent that to you, but read this one.
Yeah.
In your head, you're going, it's like 6% more better, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they get to that moment, it's gonna be better. They're gonna want to keep doing like this. it's the same theory to me.
Yeah.
Every time you fix that edit and you make it, you know, a little
Yeah.
cleaner, the transition does whatever you like, it's so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that movie
And it feels good, right?
feels
Yeah.
good.
You know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie we made, like, it got from it like going 0.1% by 0.1%. We got it into something that's so much better, like
Right.
hundreds of percent better.
How did that film do?
It's
Have
so
you put it out yet?
we're putting it out right now. It's
Okay.
going to play. People will say, but it's playing in San Francisco maybe in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
It's doing the festivals right now,
Good.
but it's like with audiences, it's doing amazing. Like people watch it, and it's weird to see people crying a lot with things you've done. Like they cry, people really cry. It's like they turn into kids. It's an amazing feeling.
That's
and
good.
it's all this guy.
And they have a lot of fun in the beginning, right?
Yeah, they all have a lot of fun.
We're going to be in Seattle, on Seattle Latino Film Festival on October 8th. In Chicago, October 8th also. And Mental Filmness. And in San Francisco Latino Film Festival and October 21.
Yeah, the name
Nice.
of the film is Captain Wits.
Captain Wits.
Captain Wits.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's that one about?
Huh?
What's that one about? Did you say it earlier?
Yeah, it's
Is
the
that-
one. Yeah,
is
it's the
that
one about the
Eduardo,
o- the o-
he
the
uses
the,
his-
the
his
elderly.
English.
The
Oh, yeah,
elderly,
yeah, yeah. Okay, got it.
The elderly
Okay.
superhero. It's an
Yes.
amazing movie. Yeah.
It's explain a little bit, Eduardo. Gives him a synopsis.
So it's
Of his film.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
He's the producer.
Yes, John.
But he's saying I talk. He's saying I talk a lot. I'm trying to let you guys talk. So it's about a man an elderly man who's becoming a superhero,
Mm.
and he has his family is trying to is watching him and thinking he's crazy, and they said they send his grandson to maybe try to get him back to sanity.
Mm.
And it's a story about like the three generations trying to cope with like being wanting to be creative and not being able to. Like it's a story about being able to dream, right? Because in one hand you have the superhero granddad who's like crazy, but he's living his dream, and in the middle you have the dad who's like trying to temper down every expectation that his son has. Like he wants his son to be like a whatever, and he sends his son on a mission to get my dad back. He's crazy, and the grandson starts to learn that maybe I can dream again. Like you see that this kid who has been so like oppressed his whole life,
Mhm.
learning to dream and learning to live his life with his crazy granddad. And the ending is like, I'm not gonna say it, but it's really Filipe right here. He wrote a beautiful.
It sounds
paragraph.
good. It sounds interesting. I like it. It sounds.
Yeah.
It's called what? Captain what?
Captain Wits.
Spell it.
It's like WITS.
T.S. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's based on it's kind of based on Don Quixote, like
Mhm.
the from Cervantes.
Yes.
And it's it's being really happy with the reception by the audience. Like it's like we at the first screening that we had had a lady. I had a lady sitting next to me.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure yet if she was like what do you say, neurodiverse or whatever, but because she was really into the movie. Like she was like dancing with the and throwing her hands up when there was music,
Yeah.
and she was crying and she was rooting and she was screaming. I was like, calm down, man.
Can you come with us every movie?
Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna pay you to see our movie.
Exactly.
every time.
And you've watched the film so many times that you're like, why is she laughing so much like
Yes.
at this? But it's amazing because it reminds you, this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
This scene is kind of
The
emotional.
last
scene.
festival I was, there is this guy by my side that he has a film too on the
Mhm.
festival, and he was kind of mixing around with his cell phone
During the movie?
during the movie, close to me, and
Douche.
was, man, how can you do it? Then and they said, stop it, man. He has lost almost the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
But later he was, clean.
Really?
Take on it, man.
That's the
Because
thing.
it's so satisfying, the
good.
final of it.
So you got him eventually.
Yes, I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, that's
Come
good.
on.
That's the
good.
thing I told you about turning the dials. Like you see, you say, oh, let me make him cry. It's. I think if you ask me one more thing, what's my thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think I like to manipulate people.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. He's a
But see, now
puppet
I wanna-
master.
I
I
wanna
want
know
to be
why,
a puppet
though.
master.
I want to be
Yes,
a puppet
why?
master.
Why?
I want to know why though. Like, where did that come from?
Yes.
I'm not
Somebody's a control freak, aren't they?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think
Oh yeah.
I think it's something about the love of the craft, right? You feel, finally, we have spent our life trying to do this movie. We have feel it this way, watching it, and man, I did it. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's
Right.
something like this. Oh, finally, I made a movie where people will lift their spirits, right?
yeah, there's
And,
something.
and
about
Eduardo, I
it.
think he has this thing. Oh, I did this camera shot. He's good director. And
Mhm.
oh, finally did that camera shot. And he has this thing,
Yeah.
right?
I can actually tell you're a good director.
Yes.
At least you have a good eye,
Yes.
which is
Thank you.
important.
Thank you, man.
Which is important. When I'm producing, I do several things. This is in the indie world. Let's set that up first.
Yeah.
There are some things you guys can do that can always make your teams want to work with you again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you guys a couple little things. You maybe already do some of them,
Yeah.
but here's ways. For example, let's say you get some novella star to be in your next movie. Let's just say somebody with a face,
Yeah.
but you don't have a lot of money. One of the things I do, like about a week before we start, is I call my star, I call the director, I call maybe the second or third down the call sheet, and my DP. And I'm like, hey, is there anything you need on the set that's going to make you chill when we're stressed?
Cool.
For example, when I direct, I need a hot chocolate from Coffee Bean and a little pack of red vines. That's it. It's something I can afford. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
So that what I do is I don't go get it. My assistant or, some PA goes to get it. And here's what happens. So you show up on the set, and by Crafty, we have our craft table, is your hot chocolate and your
That's
red
an
vines
amazing
with your
idea.
name on it. And I am told, oh, Eduardo's here.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go over there, grab it, introduce you, hug you,
Holy
and give you
shit.
your stuff and walk you to your dressing room or wherever it is,
That's
right?
amazing.
And so they immediately go, oh my God, like
Yeah.
they heard me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I need to write that.
that's
down, man.
that's something small that you could do.
Yeah.
The other thing I do is because you don't usually have a ton of money,
Mm-hmm.
but there's things you could do to make the set feel like it's got a big budget. Say you guys are shooting in a house. It's your sister's house. Let's just say. I'm the guy, instead of going, oh, well, Octavio said we could shoot at his sister's house. He showed me a couple pictures. That's cool. No. I got to go. I got to see the house. And I got to talk to his sister. And you're like, why do you got to talk to my sister? It's like, trust me. Here's why. So let's just say she has a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms in her roommate's bedroom. I go in the roommate's bedroom, look in there, see the bathroom, see what it looks like, and go, okay, this is where the actors are going to be. They need a dressing room, they need the bathroom, they need the whatever.
Yeah.
That's just for them.
Yeah.
I go out and I get like 6 like director's chairs and I put them all in there with them, bring in a mirror, all that just for them, so they could feel like it's not a set, but it feels like a set.
Cool.
You see?
Cool.
So when I go in and I talk to your sister, I'm like, look, we need to use that other room. Can I speak to your roommate? I do all that so that I make sure that all that
Very
stuff is done, all the logistics.
Yeah.
I've already figured out, if we park right there, we can load in good. So I need to make sure somebody parks there overnight so that we're there. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be thinking about all those little details so that it's a smooth set.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we don't have the room for this. Oh, I'm going to have to put crafty over there.
Yeah.
Oh, when we, you know, she has her master bedroom. We'll load in all the stuff there. That's going to be where we store everything.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? You just have to be thinking like that so that things run as smoothly as possible.
Yeah.
So those are just like a couple of little things that I do that I'm always thinking like.
But that's, you know, I always tell them both like that the thing I'm trying to do like as a producer right now is that I'm trying to get them both closer to the art, right? Like I'm trying to get everything that's in between them and actually doing the artistic part. Like so I'm trying to get people who's directing closer to just hanging out with the actors and shooting, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to worry about where's my whatever, but where are people gonna park? Is this location secured or whatever? And I'm trying to get Otaku to just write and not worry about. And the both things you said, they're like this, like the actor getting closer to being comfortable with their art and the crew.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
They don't need a big old trailer. The trailer is nice if you can afford it, but if you don't give them a space that you thought about, make sure there's a bathroom. You know what I mean? It's like little things that people just want to feel taken care of. You know, it makes them feel like you really cared. When you're not shooting and the sun's on, somebody get a fucking umbrella. You know, just be thinking, what would I want if I was the person?
Cool.
And I always say, think like a fish, right? That's a word, the little phrase that we use. It means, what would you want if you were me?
Okay.
I say think like a fish is like a phrase or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I always do is like when I was an actor, I would work for free if you did this, and this, you know, or I would work for less, you know, if you did these things. So I say when I started producing things and we didn't have big budgets, here's what I would do.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to make sure that I crossed my T's, you know, and made it comfortable for everybody there, you know. And so the same thing, like if you go to a location, you might want to see it first.
Yeah.
Don't just trust because it's Octavio's sister that everything is going to be fine. You, as the producer, it's your job.
You just gave me a banger idea.
It's your job to go and scout. You could take the DP and all those other people too, but you need to see it more than anybody because you have to go for logistics reasons.
Yeah.
You have to see, because it might not even work. He just said, oh, my sister has this great house. You get there and you're like, this isn't going to work for production.
Let me ask you something that we were researching. Have you ever shot using like French hours? Do you know?
Yeah, I know
that?
exactly. Yeah. Where you just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
Yeah. It's rare here because everybody's we get our hour, we get our 45 minutes, our half hour, whatever you decide it's going to be. Yeah. I mean, it's rare.
Yeah.
It happens more now that we're in COVID.
Yeah.
So a lot of shows are going on French time.
And do you feel like people are happier?
It messes up.
Not?
It messes up momentum to stop.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion, it does. But I also understand why we have it because if you think about it, that first 30 minutes before we get to it, everybody's like, can we fucking get to lunch? You can feel it in the energy. It starts to become that. But there's something to...
So you think it's better?
I think French is better. You just won't... It's not going to be a big thing here. It's not... People need more time here.
Why?
Because it's just how the system is. You know, how it's been going on too long. And like I said, even though a lot of shows are shooting the 10 hour, now they're doing them in blocks though.
Okay.
So they're block shooting. You got to know what the block thing is. So we might shoot everything in this room, you know, throughout the whole season, for example, or the first 4 episodes, you know, whatever. So that way you keep everything together. And, you know what I mean? They're doing it more that way now. So it's just not every show, but a lot of them are doing that for sure.
Yeah, we were considering, but the thing you said about the craft services and like it's a balancing act of trying to keep everybody like satisfied and happy, but also trying to get the work done and like getting them focused. It's like a managerial job. Like it's.
But that's why you have to have a team too.
Yeah, that's my team.
But you need more people too, though. I mean, you can't do it all by yourself. Sorry.
You want to be my team?
You can't do it all yourself. when I'm on a set, I'm not doing hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm doing is managing. I'm going around, hey, how you doing? Is it good? Or whatever. You know, I'm doing all of that, and then I sit behind the video village. And I got my little things on, and I'm listening, and I'm watching the frame. And every once in a while, I'll go, Eduardo, come here, record.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the playback right quick. And we'll look at him, and like, what do you see? You're like, it looks good to me. And I'm like, look at it again. The pace is off, right? Or see the frame? If you just go a little, now you can see all the way down, see that texture, see the depth of the shot, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, just think about it, right? That's how I talk to you. Only every once in a while. I'm not like in your ear every, you know, when you guys huddle, I huddle too. I just listen, you know, see how you guys are doing. You good? Okay, cool. But what happens is every time, 30 projects I've done, every time. The first time I said, Eduardo, come over here, or whoever, you'll come over and you'll do it, and we'll play it back again, and you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great eye. And you'll walk back, and that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking me, do you agree? It's not that you need me. It's just another eye. I'm here. I'm just here to keep the vision we had. Cool. You know I got your back, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I'm not doing that. I'm like, hey man, take another look, you know, dude, this could be even better. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're gonna get the credit. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to encourage, you know what I mean? And that's how I work with them. I'm not like in his ear every 15 minutes going, move the frame. I just do it when it counts. You know?
Yeah. It's gonna be my one of my first. It's gonna be my first set that I'm not directing, I think. In
the one he's doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be. I'm thinking about like not encroaching on him too much, because like you're a director, you're on set, and you see something, and but you should do that. And I'm trying not to like. I'm trying to put on my producer hat.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that's why your other team, your production soup, and whoever else, your line producer, your AD, they all got to be tight.
Yeah.
So that so that it's rolling good, so that you could be sitting here like this, watching, overseeing. Like every time we say cut, I want to be in the frame. I don't want to be at Crafties or whatever. I mean, every blue moon you'll do it if they're on take 6 or some shit. You know what I mean? And you've seen it and you know it's going to be good. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm pretty much. I like my DP, my director, to know I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, when they huddle, I huddle. I'm part of the team.
Yeah.
I was there when we were making the story. I helped you fucking write the thing practically. You know what I mean? So I understand, you know, what it is you're trying to do. I'm just trying to make sure you know that you got protection. And if something's going wrong, I'll be like, oh, something's not right here. And I will do this. For example, we were shooting this pilot, me and Chris, and I saw Chris going like this. To the audience, he was pacing a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it taking us so long to shoot this shot? So I was like, I'm going to give him a couple more minutes. I'm watching. Nothing's happened. I'm like, I look and I see all the camera people there. We got 2 or 3 cameras and they're all fiddling around trying to do something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I go, Chris. I would say to the AD, hey, I'll be right back. And I walk him all the way around the corner. It took us like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. We already were waiting. So I was like, he was like, oh shit. I was like, what's going on? So he tells me what happened. There was something with the follow spot. It wasn't right. So we had 2 cameras. And I said, okay. I said, you know what we need to do? He said, what? I says, but I'm not going to say it. You have to say it. You're the director. You have to go in there and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot on 1 camera. We're going to do it like this. We're going to go back to film school.
Yeah.
Right? Because we were waiting for this fucking thing to happen. And I said, let's not wait anymore. We waited for 45 minutes. Don't say that I said it. Okay. You said it. You know, I gave him the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we came back and he was like, okay, boom, here's what we're going to do. So we lost a lot of shots because we didn't have the 2 that we were going to do, as you know. but we gained by the actors feeling like he was in control of doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so that's what was important. So those are the things that I'm always trying to see, where are the fires and catching them before. And sure enough, right after that happened, and before we were setting up the next shot, I took the writer, took him for a walk, and I was like, here's what happened. You know, it's cool. When we edit the thing, it may not look the way we said it was going to look because we're not getting both of those angles anymore.
Yeah.
But it's going to be clean, and it's going to be the version we're supposed to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he calmed down. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of hand holding sometimes on these. This is the indie world, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And bigger budget, you just have a lot more play. You have a lot more time.
People.
You know what I mean? A lot more people. You know, and somebody else could have flown in 2 more cameras easily. You know, but in the indie world, you don't have that choice. You know, so you have to be thinking, what can I do? Film school. You know what I mean? I didn't go to film school. You know what I mean? But he did. So I'm like, put your film school hat on. If you only had one camera, what would you do?
Cool.
Well, I would start here, and I was like, well, bitch, let's go. What are we sitting here talking about? You know what I mean? Because you lock it in your head when you're directing. You already had it all blocked out of what you're going to do, and, you know, all your shots is like, now what are you going to do? You got to pivot. So that's
and part of what we're trying to do with this next project is trying to, we're creating a whole process around trying to do the film school thing, like quick and just act and just do it, but in a like organized fashion. Like we can, I think it's like it's a process, right? Yeah. It's a process.
If you could afford to have rehearsal, rehearse. Yeah. You know, maybe
Yeah.
the important scenes, the longer scenes, or maybe those are the ones, you know, for chemistry or whatever you need to do. I say do them so that you, by the time you get there, you know you're not going to have to do 7 takes on something, you know.
We used to spend a lot of time on, not on acting really, when shooting, but on the lighting and everything, and lighting, right? Because we shoot a lot on
setting
location.
up lights,
Yes. And Eduardo was talking about that 0.1
Right.
thing or when you are editing, you know. But what I discovered making VR and making this feature is that when you have good actors and they are into the character, they add
So much.
Yeah. You can't, no matter what camera you're using, the actors are the thing, the eyes and the thing. We have 2 great actors on this movie, and there are scenes where in one of them he almost don't speak, and you feel it because he has the eye, you know, and you can do it with camera. You can dolly in everything, but sorry, man. You have to have a
That's
good
a cheat.
Yes, that's
but it works when it works.
It
you
works,
know?
but if you have someone's feeling, we watching, we feel it together.
Yeah.
It's
Totally agree.
on the end of the day, it's about humanity, you know.
Yeah.
And I love it.
On that note, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
It
indeed.
was a pleasure
Thank you.
to be here.
Yeah, thanks for all the lessons. And I just want to give a shout out to Mauricio Mota,
Yes.
who introduced us to you again.
Indeed.
Big, cool dude who
Shout out to Mauricio.
who's introducing us to a bunch of cool dudes, including here
I'm the
in
best.
Hollywood.
I'm the best. I know.
And thanks again for having us, man.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, hopefully we'll get something going eventually. Who knows?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Hope so.
You bet your ass, man.
Where can people follow you? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, anything?
Okay.
People?
This I use my company name on this social network because my name is hard to write in Portuguese. It's actually easy to write, but
If he just said people, it wouldn't.
I'm telling him, people or papi. You can register both.
You know. Then I use Papai Pequeno, that is little daddy, but in Portuguese, and it's all around. Papai Pequeno.
Awesome. What about you, Octavio?
Mine is in Instagram, O Mendes.
O Mendes.
OMENDES.
That's
You
Yeah.
follow him, ladies. You haven't seen how
Oh,
beautiful this man is.
easy. He is good looking though. He's good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm with our production company. So it's BT Vaca Filmes. I'm not even gonna try to spell it. You go on Google.
I'll put it on there.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, coming to hang out again. Big shout out to Big Bro Mauricio for hanging out. For referring you guys, and I appreciate you guys having me on your interview the other day. That was really cool.
Thank you for being with us too.
Yeah,
this is like a couple of days of film school. You say you didn't go to film school. You're doing film school, man.
Yeah,
you are a film school.
I didn't even graduate from high school. So, hey. But like somebody said earlier, I think it was Denzel on the last show we did. You just have to do. If you do, you just learn. You know what I mean? 30 projects in, I think I'm going to kind of grow.
You do, man. You do.
Yeah. And plus, I've been doing it since I was 12 years old. I've done a lot. Anyway, I'm your boy, Hilliard Guess. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, at Hilliard Guess. What?
No.
Why you got to give me that look then? What's that look?
I'm just admiring you.
At Hilliard Guess. You can follow the show, Screenwriters, Rant Room, everywhere. Please go on iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you guys listen to, wherever you find podcasts. Subscribe to us, follow us, and all that. Go on screenwritersrr.com. Please give us a 5-star review. We need that for the metrics. Follow our, what do they call it? Our Patreon page. Chris usually says all the shit. Please donate there. We appreciate it. Everybody joining me for 2022. It's just a little saying we say. Again, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Octavio. Pipo. Filipe. And of course, Eduardo. Appreciate you guys joining with me. You guys know how we're doing on the Rant Room. On the show, we keep it real. We keep it opinionated. We keep it what, everybody? 2022. Peace, y'all.